Hey y'all, this is known as the Trifoliate Orange. It's also known as the Hardy Orange, the Flying Dragon, and a whole bunch of other names. They are native to northern China, but they were actually brought over here to the US in about the 1850s from China and Korea. They were possibly used to confine livestock because they have super sharp thorns all over them. And their thorns are pretty sharp. When I say sharp, I bet you could use them as a sewing needle at least, or a fishing hook. You could probably do both. I need to try that sometime. But they'd sure hurt to get stuck with, so be aware of that if you're picking the fruits. They are fully established throughout Louisiana, and they're very prominent in Arkansas now too. You can find them in other states as well. But unfortunately, they are very invasive, and they do have the ability to shade out our natural native plants that we have. Not only that, but their sharp thorns don't allow any kind of shelter for the wildlife. But that being said, they're still here and you can still find them. So if you do want to make something out of their fruits, they're edible. But just remember, moderation is going to be key with this particular fruit. They are very, very acidic, which I know that sounds crazy because I'm adding lime juice to it right now, but that just gives it a little kick to the flavor. But they are very acidic, so you don't want to ingest too much because it could cause nausea or sharp stomach pains. This is why I opt to make this marmalade instead of something like lemonade or something you're going to be ingesting a little too much of. You're typically not going to take or use too much marmalade at a time for anything to affect you. Now that being said, you use it at your own risk and use your best judgment, but I made this and enjoyed it on toast a couple of times for breakfast, and I thought it tasted great and I was just fine. I have to note though, I bet this will be the last time that I make it. I hate to say that, but when you cut into those rinds, there's something on the inside that just leaves a terrible sticky residue all over everything that you use to cut with, or the cutting board and all of your utensils. The pulp doesn't really affect anything. Like, it wasn't hard to clean this pan out, but I recommend just being very aware and making sure it's worth it before you go making a mess all over the place. So now I'm just going to finish stirring this, and I'm scraping off the foam and ladling it into my jars. You want to leave about 1/4 to 1/2 inch of headspace, and I always take this little tool. If you don't have this little tool, you can use like a knife or something and just get those air bubbles out so you don't trap any bacteria in there when you can it. And don't forget to wipe your rims with white vinegar, especially with this sticky stuff. But really anything you can, don't forget to wipe it down with white vinegar because it can keep your jars from sealing on you. Also remember to tighten your jars like a little granny with arthritis. Don't over tighten them and don't under tighten them. And now I am just putting them in the water bath canner. And I am in Arkansas, so I need to can this in the water bath canner at a rolling boil for 10 minutes. So depending on where you are, you need to check your sea levels and see what amount of time that you need to can it for. And then I'm gonna let it set for 24 hours. Thank y'all.